Everyone's doing well and having a nice weekend. Today's video, a movie that I just saw on DVD and show off collectibles that I've added to my horror center.
Character of Daffy
Is the collection 10th anniversary Freddy vs. Jason T-shirt. I went to the Image Expo.
It's called the Miss Misery Horror Convention.
The Nightmare Before original television soundtrack of one of my favorite films of all time.
So that's what this video is about today.
If everybody enjoys this video, and please stay tuned.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey everyone's Boogeyman Ben. Hope everyone's doing well and everyone had a nice week. I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. It's going to be my first video of 2014. Really excited about this year. I know it's going to be a great year, and I hope everyone, my followers and fans of this page, have a great year as well. Today's video is going to be a requested video. This is coming from Michael Vorhees, who a couple of months back asked me to do a kind of a run through of the Scream films, similar to what I did with the Nightmare on Elm Street Halloween films, as well as the Friday the 13th series that I did for YouTuber Arkham Knight 84. So Michael, this video is for you. I'm going to go through all 4 Scream films really quickly. I'm not going to give too many spoilers, just going to say my thoughts on the films and give them a rating, and I hope everyone enjoys this, and please stay tuned.
Hello, Sydney. Friends count, but it's the family ties that cut deep.
So I have several copies of the Scream franchise. I only have one copy of Scream 4, but when the Scream trilogy initially came out, it came out right after Scream 3 was released, and that was back in the year 2000. So this is the box set that was released, and this included, show you the back of it a little bit. I'm sure everybody's seen this set before. This included all the first 3 Screams, as well as a bonus exclusive DVD and DVD-ROM. It has a bunch of special features, documentary. It also had a booklet. I'll show this off real quick. So the booklet is Sydney on the front. Pretty much it gives like a breakdown in chapters of each of the films. You got chapter 1 on Scream 1, gives production notes, some images from the film as well. And then after that you have merchandising, some of the images, posters, and then over here, which is kind of hard to see, it shows the victims, and it did this for each of the films. So chapter 2 for Scream 2. That's there. And then Scream 3. So a nice little feature. And I also have for a Blu-ray set, 5 that was released back in 2011, the same year that Scream 4 came out, and right as it was about to be released on Blu-ray and DVD. So this includes Scream 1, 2, and 3, as well as 2 documentaries, one called Still Screaming, the Ultimate Scary Movie Retrospective, and Scream the Inside Story. Now, I did not really care for Still Screaming. I thought the documentary was lacking, but I could have been comparing it when I watched it at the time to documentaries such as Never Sleep Again and The Psycho Legacy, which were 2 of my favorite. Just wasn't as compelling as I thought it could have been, but I did like Scream the Inside Story. I actually liked that one better. So this set, I'm sure people have seen this as well, just got each of the discs in here. So you got 1, 2, 3, and then the documentaries right there. So put that aside. But what I'm going to do today is talk about the 4 films in the franchise. There's Scream 4, I don't have it on Blu-ray. Here's all 4 films.
Who is this? This is the last person you're ever going to see alive.
So Scream 1 would be released in the winter of 1996. This was harkening back to the slasher films of the 1980s. The 1980s was the boom of the slasher films, and after 1988, 1989, those types of films just kind of dried up, and horror films were just not doing what they once did at the box office in the early part of the 90s. Before Scream had come out, I think the last really good horror film that I had seen was Candyman, starring Tony Todd. That movie had really disturbed me, but there had been other tries to revive franchises like Friday the 13th with Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday in 1993, as well as Wes Craven's New Nightmare in 1994. Neither film recaptured the glory days of those series. And then along came Kevin Williamson, who wrote an original screenplay, originally called Scary Movie, and it was turned into Scream, and you had a amazing cast. You had Drew Barrymore, Neve Campbell, Skeet Ulrich, Matthew Lillard, Jamie Kennedy, Courtney Cox, David Arquette. Just a tremendous cast, an excellent screenplay by Kevin Williamson, and amazing direction by Wes Craven. I've always been a fan of this film. I saw this movie 3 times in the movie theater during its theatrical run, and it was just a film that I just thought got better every time I watched it. It reminded me of the films I loved growing up, but it also had a different feel to it because this one was dealing more with people being self-aware in society, being aware of the cliches of horror films and things like that, which hadn't really been tackled that much in movies prior to this. It's something that a lot of horror films can't do, is it balanced the horror with the comedy very well. Excellently written. It had a real twist to it. I didn't see the ending coming, and I really enjoyed this film 100%. I love the original Scream. This movie gets a 10 out of 10 for me. Absolutely wonderful film. The other really cool thing about Scream is that it was shot locally, close to where I live. It was shot in the towns of Santa Rosa and Healdsburg. And I've actually been to the town of Healdsburg recently. Went there and actually went to the location where the town square was centered. And that's the area where Sydney and her friends are sitting by the fountain on their lunch break talking about what had happened and the whole thing about Casey and her boyfriend being killed. And they also show that area again later in the movie when everybody is clearing the town square for curfew. So it's really cool to have been there, and I'll show some pictures right after this, what it looks like.
Hello, Sydney. You hang up on me and I'll cut through your neck until I feel bone.
Exactly 1 year later, Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven would bring us. I really loved Scream 2 when it came out. I thought it was a great sequel. There was a couple of issues I had with just in terms of the plot of the film, and actually one of the biggest problems I have was what happened to one of the characters that I was a big fan of. And I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen the film, but I just didn't think that was the best route to go with that character. The other thing I thought that worked really well in Scream 2 was the new location. You know, they moved the town of Woodsboro, which was the location for the first film, and moved it to a college campus where Sydney is attending college. And I thought that the college location was actually really used very well, very creepy, and there was a lot of, really cool images of Ghostface running through the college campus, and I just thought that was really cool. I actually love this film. I think it's a tremendous sequel, especially with the short turnover time that Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven were allowed to, in terms of putting the film together. I mean, they had a 1 year turnover, and no one knew what Scream was going to be. So the fact that it was a huge hit and they were able to crank this movie out in 1 year and actually have it be a good sequel is a tremendous achievement in my opinion. So Scream 2 I give a 9.5 out of 10.
Welcome home, Sydney. You're a survivor, aren't you, Sydney? What good's it to be a survivor if everyone close to you is dead? You can't save them. All you can do is watch.
Next we would have Scream 3. This would premiere in the winter of 2000. I believe it came out in late January, early February of that year. It was supposed to come out before that, Rumors were, and I don't know if this was true, it was because of the Columbine shooting. It occurred in 1999, and a lot of people, there was like, I guess, hesitance from the studio to put the movie out any earlier, especially in that year. So I don't know if that's true or not, but the movie didn't come out until early 2000. Scream 3 is not as good as the first two films, and I think it's the weakest out of all four films. My biggest problem with that is that Kevin Williamson did not return to write the screenplay, and it really shows. I believe his name was Aaron Kruger. He wrote the screenplay for this based off a treatment from Kevin Williamson. But Kevin Williamson's treatment was supposed to take place in Woodsboro, and the movie, this locale in this one, was moved to Los Angeles. I did think the opening of this film was excellent because it involved a main character, and previously all the openings had involved characters that were not part of the main cast, or they were not carrying over characters from the, from the. There was also a couple of really eerie scenes. One involving Jenny McCarthy's character, where she's in this dressing room hiding, and there's all these ghost face costumes. I thought that was really creepy. There are some great parts of Scream 3. I do think that some of the tricks that the killer uses, like changing his voice to sound like other people in the cast, was really interesting. But I thought the reveal of who the main killer was pretty weak. It wasn't a memorable character, and I thought it could have been done better. I think it would have been more interesting if they would have had a character from one of the other two films actually be the mastermind behind what was going on. I thought that would have been more interesting than what they ended up doing in this one. Also, there was a couple of things in this. The movie it was almost like slapstick in a lot of ways, which I didn't like. Much more so than the first two. I thought the first two were pretty grounded, even though there was some black comedy in them. The other thing is that there was a scene in this film where Jay and Silent Bob from the Kevin Smith films show up, and I know that Dimension had distributed several of Kevin Smith's films. I think they were working on Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back at the time, but it was just sort of silly for them to just appear in this film. I just thought that was really kind of silly, and I wasn't really a big fan of that because it took me out of the film. And I didn't like that aspect at all. But otherwise, there were some really good parts to it. There's a really cool explosion in the film that I thought was really cool. There's some good stunt work, but still not my favorite. My least favorite in the series, and if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a 7.5. In 2011, we would get the fourth film in the franchise, Scream 4. I have the DVD on this one. I do not have the Blu-ray. I saw this film in the theater when it first opened back in April of 2011. It came out right before my birthday. I did a review of it back then. I was a big fan of it then, and I'm still a big fan of it now. I think this movie is probably my favorite sequel out of all of this, all three sequels to the original. This one just has it really complements the original. I like the fact that it was set back in Woodsboro, whereas the second one took place at a college campus. The third one in Los Angeles. This one goes back to Woodsboro. I really like that. I also like the fact that it was dealing with I feel like all of the films deal with the conventions of the time. This one focusing on like reality TV and YouTube and remakes and things like that. I thought that was really cool. I also thought it was great they brought the original cast of characters back, and even being on hiatus from the series, there hadn't been a Scream film in almost 11 years by the time this one came out, and I really thought that they all maintained their characters very well, especially Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox and David Arquette. They all did a great job in this, and bringing in some of the new characters that they did. I thought the new cast members were great. I thought the story was really well done. I thought that it had a better balance to it, and I think it's because Kevin Williamson did write the screenplay, and of course Wes Craven did a great job directing, just like he did on all four of them. So yeah, I absolutely love Scream 4. I'm saddened that it didn't do better at the box office, and probably will never see a Scream 5 and 6, which was the original plan based on what they were saying when this was about to be released. There have been rumors of a Scream television series coming out, made by MTV, which doesn't sound too great unless Wes Craven's involved. I heard he would be if the script was good, but with Kevin Williamson working on his show The Following, I'm doubtful that he'll be writing the Scream TV series, but who knows, I could be wrong. Giving this one a rating, I would give this the same rating that I gave the first movie, a 10 out of 10. Love this film. I think it's underrated. I think more people should give it a chance if they haven't seen it. People are going to hate and say that it sucks, but I think they did a great job at having a 10-year hiatus, coming back and bringing these films back into the forefront. It's just I think that they might have waited too long, unfortunately, but I actually really love this film, and I think it's a great addition to the series. So that is my review of the Scream films, or my little breakdown of my ratings of the Scream films. Michael, I hope you enjoyed this. I thank everybody for watching this. Please let me know your thoughts on the Scream franchise, or the Scream film series. Let me know what your thoughts are on the series. If you like the sequels, if you don't like any of them, please share your thoughts. I'm always interested in hearing what people think, and I thank everyone for watching this, and please stay tuned for some more videos coming this weekend. Take it easy. Hope everyone has a great evening. Peace.